Hi, welcome to the first video in Module 4 of Student Success Strategies Tools for Top Achievers in College and Beyond. In the last module, we discussed tools and tactics and showed you the how of implementing Agile into your workflow. In this module, we will discuss how to quantify and measure your results, tracking them over time and measuring them against your stated OKRs. Before we dive into the details, we first need to understand how we measure. When measuring results, we have two kinds of measurements we make: quantitative measurements and qualitative measurements. Quantitative measurements are all about facts, figures, and numbers. It is the measurement of hard data expressed in numerical values. Your word count on a paper is a quantitative measurement. The number of references you use, tests you conduct, or papers you submit are all measurements of quantity versus quality. Qualitative metrics are subjective and interpretive evaluations of results based on a comparison to known standards or ranked contextually to other results. If you went to a grocery store and went into the meat aisle, you would find A, AA, and AAA grade meats. These are gradations of quality, with AAA being the highest. There are specific standards that need to be met in order to qualify for AAA rating. The same is true for certified organic, free range, or other quality labels that convey a minimum level of quality standard in the meat, in this case, or produce. In an academic context, your grades are the same type of metric. A letter grade of A, B, C+, or F is an indication of the quality of the paper, report, or project you delivered. Your product is compared to known standards, and qualitative or quality value is assigned to it. In addition, if the qualitative measurement takes into account the other students for a bell curve, adjusted grade, or you're ranked based on your performance compared to the other students, you're in the top 10% of your class or 90th percentile, this is a qualitative measurement relative to the other students versus a set standard. This course is focused on helping you manage the quantitative output of your work so as to reduce stress, prevent overwhelm and burnout, and better manage your time. The elements of this course that deal with feedback and communication with your instructor, teaching assistants, and other stakeholders are designed to help you improve your qualitative results, i.e. your grades. Both of these measurements are important for your success in school and your professional life. In the last module, we discussed pointing as a way to quantify the work you were able to complete in a sprint or 2-week cycle. We discussed WIP limits to monitor and control how much work you were doing at any given time. Near the beginning of our course, we discussed the principles, including principle number 7, completed work is the primary measure of progress. Bringing all these elements together, we are going to measure your rate of productivity. When you're planning your sprint and loading up your sprint backlog, being mindful of how much work you can complete in a sprint is a critical component. Overload yourself with too much to do, and you will be disappointed when you don't complete your sprint backlog in 2 weeks. This will be stressful, have a negative impact on your motivation, and be antithetical to our strategy of hacking your brain with the dopamine cycle. If you take on too little in your sprint backlog, you may feel like you are not making enough progress, or you are unable to meet your deadlines and overall OKRs because not enough work is being completed. So, how do we find the Goldilocks zone? When sprint planning for the first time, you will have a gut feeling on how many points or how much work you can handle. Previously, I used 20 points as an example. If 20 points was your goal, then you would load up on your sprint backlog with a number of items that would be equal to, but not exceeding, 20 points. For example, if you had 18 points worth of work in your sprint backlog and there was only 3-point tasks remaining in your overall backlog, then you would not take on the extra 3 points to make the total 21. That would be an example of setting you up for failure. Instead, we will use another tool to frame this out. We are going to set and write down sprint goals. Your sprint goals should be the total number of tasks or points in your sprint backlog. In our example above, this would include all the tasks that are equal and up to 18 points. That extra 3-point item you think you could do will now be added as a 2, target of opportunity. This 2 is extra work that you are not, and I cannot emphasize this enough, are not committing to complete in your sprint. It is a piece of work or task that you will only look at if you have completed your sprint goals, that initial 18 points. If you have completed your sprint backlog, sprint goals, the 18 points during your sprint, then and only then will you start working on the 2. If you are able to complete it, then it becomes added value to your sprint. If you complete 2 or more sprints where you have been able to complete your 2s, then this is an indication that you need to increase your sprint goals. In our example of 20 points as a sprint goal, if I had successfully completed 2 or more sprints with a total of 21 points, that's including my 2s, then I would increase my sprint planning limit to 21 points. This process of feeling out how much work you can handle is ongoing and never ending. There may be periods when you have to reduce the total number of points you can handle. This would be the case if you were unable to complete your sprint goals for 2 or more sprints, by example. In the same way we adjusted up using the 2s, you would adjust down based on the point value of what you were able to complete versus your sprint goals. There are many reasons why this can fluctuate. After all, life happens. But this way of working and what you are learning in this course is focused on helping you be adaptive and responsive to change while still moving forward and delivering results. Taking the quantitative value that you've assigned to the work and measuring that over time, 2 or more sprints, allows you to better understand and predict how much work you can do in the future. Putting numbers to it allows you to see how much you are accomplishing and measure quantitatively those accomplishments. This will build your confidence in what you can accomplish over time, reduce stress and anxiety brought on by the uncertainty as you become more certain of what you can do, and increase your happiness and satisfaction as your capacity to deliver results increases over time. The quantitative measurements or numbers is just a way for you to see and track your progress over the semester and your planning periods. It is all focused on helping you reach the OKRs you set for yourself in the beginning. In the next video, we will discuss measuring your KPIs and tracking your progress towards your OKRs.